Hey guys! So this is how you add a custom overlay URL in X Ray Serp version 6. If we go into our WordPress backend, anything to do with overlay is going to be on the overlay settings page. So make sure you go in here, make sure you're on the add new tab, and now we can choose whether we want to add an overlay or a pricing structure. Make sure this is on overlay. Now we have our overlay client name, and this is strictly for, if I can type, this is strictly for our backend reference. This is never going to appear on the front end. If you add this on behalf of a client, they're never going to see it. It's just for your reference. So name it whatever you want as long as it helps you remember who it's for or what it's for. And then we can set our scope. We can set it for pages and posts, which is individually. We can set it for an entire category, or we can set it for the entire site. If we set it for the site, we can skip over this next field. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to add one for this page right here. This is what it looks on the front end. And this is page number 701, page ID 701. So in the ID box, we want to add 701. Now, X Ray Serp 6 also supports ranges. So we could add 500 to, let's say, 800, and that overlay would still show up on page ID 701. You can add ranges, and you can, add multiples. Well, that doesn't make sense. You could add, multiple numbers all in a row if you wanted to, and hyphens and comma-separated values for IDs all go here. It makes it really easy to keep track of everything later on, having everything all in one place like this. And you can add an overlay, one overlay, to 10,000 pages with just a dash. It saves a tremendous amount of time. So anyway, we enter our ID right here, page 701. Now we can add pricing if we want to. The reason why we might want to add pricing is maybe we're dealing with a client on the side that hasn't gone through and paid through the X Ray Serp front-end interface. So we're getting a payment from our client. We're adding our overlay right now for them, but how do we track how much they're paying for that overlay? Or even, how long they're getting the overlay for it? Well, we can save it right here. So if they're paying us $250 a month or $50 a week, or even, let's say, they're paying $1,000 for a custom term. Let's say it's, 6 months or whatever. We can add a custom term right here as well. So we can flag that to be auto-renewing also, so that it automatically starts again when this date stops. It'll just, renew like a subscription. And then we can also add it as a client. So if we were dealing with a client in the background, we can say, yes, this is a client, and that way we can keep tabs on clients versus overlays that we're just running on a website for, let's say driving traffic, or for a Black Friday sale on our front end or something like that. You can track it separately. And then in the final box, make sure that you have the overlay type set to URL or website instead of QuickSite, and then enter your URL down here and click Create. And you'll get a little flag that tells you that it's been added. If we go into our back end here, you'll see that it's automatically been inserted. And if we go on our front end and we reload the page, you'll see that the overlay shows up just like that. Now, you'll notice there's no underlying, this server is actually a little slow. There's no underlying blip of that site underneath. You don't see anything. It goes from a white page, off-white page, to your overlay just like that. It's up to 70% faster than X Ray Serp version 5. It's really quick. And you can see that we have all of our information about the overlay right here. We have a unique ID for each overlay that we can use, as an invoice ID for our client if we want to. We have our name. We have the page ID. We can track everything right here that we need to in the back end. And then if we want to delete it, well, we can just go click it, delete, and reload on the front end, and it's back to where we were. Okay, and that's how you add a custom overlay URL in X Ray Serp version 6.